What if everything you thought you knew about the future suddenly changed in an instant? Imagine sitting in a packed auditorium, eyes fixed on a towering stage, the air buzzing with anticipation, when the man known for redefining technology and space travel steps into the spotlight. Elon Musk, the enigmatic visionary, looks out over the crowd and says something no one expected: "Tonight, we unveil not just a product, but a new era for humanity." The lights dim, a hush falls, and the world holds its breath. News cameras from across the globe zoom in, capturing every flicker of excitement on the faces before the curtain rises on an invention so revolutionary it could rewrite the rules of life as we know it. What is this invention? How could one man's dream possibly change everything? The story you're about to hear takes you behind the scenes of that electrifying night, tracing the moments that led Elon Musk to this monumental breakthrough. But first, a question. What's one thing that always pushes you forward, even when everything seems impossible? Hit subscribe and leave a comment with where you're watching from. This story might just spark a new beginning for you, too. In the swirling storm of global uncertainty, where climate crises, pandemics, and technological leaps collide, Elon Musk's announcement wasn't just another product launch. It was a declaration that the future, as bleak or bright as we imagine, is still in our hands. From the early whispers circulating in Silicon Valley to the explosive media frenzy that followed, the world was caught between disbelief and awe. Speculation ran wild: was this a new energy source, a breakthrough in artificial intelligence, or something beyond anyone's wildest dreams? Elon's usual confidence was tempered with a rare vulnerability, as if the weight of the invention's potential consequences pressed on him like never before. The anticipation was electric, but the stakes were even higher. Could this invention unite a fractured world or deepen its divides? The moment Elon first hinted at the project months earlier, whispers had spread like wildfire. A secret initiative buried deep in one of his lesser-known labs, guarded with the utmost secrecy, involving a team of the brightest minds and years of relentless effort. Rumors suggested it was the key to ending dependence on fossil fuels, solving energy crises, or even unlocking human potential itself. But no one had concrete answers. On that pivotal night, as the world watched live, Elon revealed a sleek, unassuming device no larger than a tablet, but capable of feats that defied current scientific understanding. The invention combined breakthroughs in quantum computing, renewable energy, and neural interfaces in a seamless harmony that stunned experts. "This is not just technology," Elon said, "it's a new chapter for humanity, one where our greatest challenges become our greatest opportunities." The room erupted with gasps and applause, but just as hope surged, an unexpected glitch sent a wave of tension through the crowd. The device momentarily lost power, flickering under the glaring stage lights, threatening to turn triumph into disaster. Elon's face tightened with concentration, the audience held its collective breath. Minutes stretched like hours before the system rebooted, coming back online with even greater brilliance. Relief washed over everyone, but the moment was a stark reminder: the future is fragile, unpredictable, and demands courage to pursue. Behind the scenes, Elon's team scrambled to stabilize the device, their faces etched with exhaustion and fierce determination. This invention was the culmination of years of sacrifice, late nights, broken relationships, and relentless pressure. Elon himself was no stranger to controversy and hardship, but tonight, all that history crystallized into a singular point of possibility. The stakes couldn't be higher. The invention promised to revolutionize energy consumption, communication, and even human cognition, but it also raised profound ethical questions. What happens when technology can alter reality as we perceive it? Can humanity handle the power it's about to unleash? These questions loomed over the celebration like shadows. Yet, amid the uncertainty, one thing was clear: the future was no longer out of reach. Elon Musk had given the world a glimpse of tomorrow, and now it was up to all of us to decide how to meet it. As the night wore on, the online world exploded with reactions. Social media lit up with excitement, skepticism, fear, and hope. Commentators debated endlessly, trying to predict how this invention would reshape everything from global economics to daily life. In this moment, Elon Musk stood not just as a businessman or inventor, but as a symbol of relentless ambition and the complex dance between human aspiration and consequence. The night closed with Elon stepping away from the spotlight, a quiet smile breaking through the tension. Behind that smile lay a man who had gambled everything on a vision bigger than himself. The journey that led to this night was filled with twists, betrayals, heartbreaks, and moments of sheer brilliance. It's a story of a dreamer who dared to reach beyond the stars and pull the future into the present. But this is only the beginning. What happened next would challenge not only Elon but the entire world to rethink what it means to be human in a rapidly changing age. So, stay with me as we unravel the path from a boy with big dreams to a man unveiling the future. From early struggles and personal loss to groundbreaking innovation and a showdown with powerful forces resistant to change, this story will take you deep into the heart of invention and the human spirit. And remember, when the road gets tough, what keeps you moving forward? For Elon, it was a relentless belief that innovation could save the world. For you, maybe it's something different: love, hope, faith, or the sheer will to survive. Whatever it is, this story is for you. The future is not written yet. Together, let's discover what's possible when courage meets vision. This is the story of Elon Musk unveiling the most exciting invention yet, a story about dreams, challenges, and the fragile hope that one man's vision can change everything. Stay tuned. Elon Musk's journey to unveiling the future began far from the bright lights of Silicon Valley or the gleaming towers of Tesla and SpaceX. Born in Pretoria, South Africa, Elon showed an insatiable curiosity from a young age. While other kids played outside, he devoured books on science, technology, and physics. His childhood was marked by a complex mix of brilliance and loneliness. His parents' divorce when he was young left deep emotional scars, shaping a man who learned early that the path to greatness would demand sacrifices and emotional endurance. School wasn't easy for Elon. Bullied by classmates for being different, he found refuge in his imagination and relentless pursuit of knowledge. By the age of 12, Elon had taught himself computer programming and created a video game that he sold for $500, a rare success that gave him confidence that his ideas could change the world. Yet behind his precocious intelligence was a boy who struggled to connect emotionally. The quiet pain of isolation fueled his desire to build things that mattered, things that could leave a lasting mark. Elon's mother, May Musk, was a pillar of strength and inspiration. A model and dietitian, she encouraged her son's ambitions while providing a stable foundation amid family upheaval. Elon's relationship with his father, Errol, was more complicated, a mixture of admiration and conflict that added layers to Elon's psychological makeup. As Elon grew older, his dreams expanded far beyond South Africa. At 17, he made a bold decision to move to Canada, believing it was the gateway to the United States and the heart of innovation. The transition wasn't easy. Financial struggles and homesickness haunted him, but Elon's relentless drive pushed him forward. At Queen's University, and later the University of Pennsylvania, Elon excelled in physics and economics, fields that combined his fascination with how the universe works and how people interact in society. It was during these years that Elon's vision for the future started to crystallize. He was not content with the status quo. He saw energy crises, environmental destruction, and a world that needed new solutions, fast. After graduation, Elon moved to Silicon Valley, the epicenter of technological revolution, ready to dive into entrepreneurship. His first company, Zip2, was a modest but important step. It provided business directories and maps online, an early precursor to the Internet's vast information networks. Selling Zip2 for nearly $300 million gave Elon a financial foothold, but his ambitions were only beginning. Next came X.com, which evolved into PayPal, transforming online payments forever. Elon's bold ideas and relentless work ethic earned him respect, but also sparked conflicts with partners and employees. His vision sometimes clashed with the practical realities of business. By the time PayPal was sold to eBay for $1.5 billion, Elon was seen not just as a tech entrepreneur but as a disruptor. Still, his real passion lay elsewhere, in space and sustainable energy. The founding of SpaceX in 2002 marked a turning point. Few believed a private company could rival government space programs, but Elon was undeterred. Countless failures, rocket explosions, and near bankruptcies tested his resolve. SpaceX's first successful launch in 2008 was a watershed moment, proving the impossible was possible. Around the same time, Tesla Motors was beginning its electric revolution. Elon joined the fledgling company as chairman and later CEO, pushing electric cars from niche products to mass-market contenders. His vision wasn't just about cars, it was about saving the planet. The story of Elon Musk's rise is also one of personal sacrifice. Multiple marriages, divorces, and complicated family dynamics paint a picture of a man who often struggled to balance his personal life with his relentless drive. Friends and colleagues describe Elon as intensely focused, sometimes emotionally distant, but deeply passionate about his mission. Behind every headline-grabbing success were countless nights of doubt, exhaustion, and self-reflection. Elon's upbringing in a world far from the tech hubs of America gave him a unique perspective, one that combined outsider determination with a profound sense of purpose. He often recalls the loneliness of his childhood and how it fueled a desire to connect humanity with a brighter future. His past is a tapestry of triumphs and challenges, mistakes and breakthroughs, all of which shaped the man standing on the stage, unveiling the most exciting invention the world has ever seen. Understanding Elon's psychology helps explain why he took such enormous risks with this new project. It wasn't just business, it was deeply personal. Every setback felt like a test of his worth, every criticism a reminder of those early days when few believed in him. Yet Elon's ability to push through was rooted in more than stubbornness, it came from a belief that the future needed a champion willing to endure hardship and embrace uncertainty. Family relationships also played a crucial role in his journey. Elon's complicated ties with his children and ex-wives reveal a man still learning the balance between ambition and connection. In private moments, he reflects on the cost of his sacrifices, what was gained and what was lost. These reflections add emotional depth to his public persona, reminding us that behind the headlines is a man grappling with the same fears and hopes as anyone else. Throughout his life, Elon surrounded himself with a small circle of loyal friends and collaborators who understood his vision and supported him during the darkest hours. These relationships provided anchors of hope amid relentless pressure. His interactions with his teams, often intense and demanding, reflected both a desire for perfection and a belief in collective genius. The path from a boy dreaming of space and technology to a man unveiling a future-shaping invention was anything but linear. It was marked by moments of brilliance and crushing failure, moments where Elon could have turned back but chose instead to move forward. This complex backstory is the foundation of the story you're hearing now. A story of relentless pursuit, of sacrifices made for a vision bigger than one person, and of a man who dared to imagine a future few could see. As we dive deeper into the invention itself and the conflicts that surrounded it, remember that Elon Musk's early life and psychological journey are crucial to understanding why this moment matters. It's not just about technology, it's about the human spirit's capacity to dream, endure, and transform. So, buckle up as we continue exploring the rise to fame, the battles fought, and the personal costs of chasing the impossible. This is Elon Musk like you've never known him, flawed, determined, visionary, ready to change the world once again. Elon Musk's rise to fame was a whirlwind of innovation, risk-taking, and moments that captured the world's imagination. After selling PayPal, most would have settled into comfortable wealth, but Elon's ambitions soared higher, fueled by a restless mind that never stopped questioning what was possible. He saw the future as a puzzle to solve, a series of challenges to overcome, not just for personal success but for humanity's survival. This chapter explores how Elon's ventures into space, electric cars, and renewable energy transformed him from a tech entrepreneur into a global icon, and how the relationships he built, both supportive and strained, influenced his journey. SpaceX, founded in 2002, was Elon's boldest gamble. In an era when space exploration was dominated by government agencies with deep pockets and long histories, Elon sought to prove that a private company could innovate faster, cheaper, and with greater vision. The early days were filled with skepticism. Industry experts laughed at his plans to build reusable rockets, calling them unrealistic and impossible. SpaceX's first 3 launches ended in failure, draining resources and testing Elon's patience. Investors grew wary, but Elon's resolve never wavered. He invested his own fortune, often maxing out credit cards and mortgaging assets, convinced that failure was just a step toward success. Finally, in 2008, SpaceX's 4th launch succeeded, delivering the Falcon 1 into orbit and proving critics wrong. This milestone marked a turning point, not just for Elon, but for the space industry itself. Suddenly, the impossible felt within reach. Around the same time, Tesla Motors, though still a young company, became Elon's other great passion project. He joined Tesla's board early on and later took over as CEO, determined to revolutionize transportation. The vision was audacious: make electric cars sexy, fast, and practical enough to compete with gasoline vehicles. The Roadster, Tesla's first car, was more than a product. It was a statement that green technology didn't have to mean sacrificing performance or style. Tesla's journey was fraught with challenges. Early production delays, battery fires, and financial strains threatened to derail the company. Elon's leadership style, intense, demanding, sometimes abrasive, was both praised for its visionary clarity and criticized for pushing employees to their limits. Despite the turmoil, Tesla's success grew, reshaping the automotive industry and inspiring competitors to accelerate their electric ambitions. Beyond SpaceX and Tesla, Elon's ventures extended to Solar City, which aimed to make renewable energy accessible to the masses. His vision was holistic: a future powered by clean energy, with sustainable transportation and exploration beyond Earth. Yet, this rapid rise was not without personal cost. Elon's relationships, especially with those closest to him, often suffered under the strain of his relentless work ethic. His first marriage to Justine Musk ended in divorce after years of trying to balance family life with career demands. The emotional toll of loss and separation weighed heavily on Elon, but his drive to change the world remained undiminished. His second marriage to Tallulah Riley was marked by intense passion and public scrutiny, reflecting the complexities of loving a man whose mind raced ahead of everyone else's. Friends describe Elon as a man torn between the desire for connection and the demands of his mission. This internal conflict added depth to his character, a visionary who sometimes struggled with vulnerability, yet inspired loyalty through his authenticity and conviction. Elon's relationships with his children also reveal a softer, often hidden side. Despite his public persona as a relentless innovator, he speaks candidly about the importance of family and the lessons learned from fatherhood. These moments of tenderness provide a counterpoint to his high-stakes ventures, reminding us that behind the headlines is a man navigating the same emotional landscapes as anyone else. As Elon's fame grew, so did the pressures from media and critics. His tweets sparked controversy, from bold announcements to blunt criticisms of competitors and regulators. The volatility of his public image often mirrored the highs and lows of his company's fortunes. Yet, through it all, Elon maintained a unique connection with his followers, people inspired by his vision, willing to overlook flaws because of the audacity of his dreams. The narrative of Elon Musk's rise is also a story of innovation shaping culture. His ideas pushed society to imagine new possibilities, from colonizing Mars to building hyperloops that could revolutionize transportation. Elon's willingness to embrace failure as a necessary step set a tone for entrepreneurs worldwide, encouraging risk-taking and resilience in pursuit of breakthroughs. Despite the spotlight, Elon remained fiercely private about his internal struggles. The weight of expectation, the loneliness of leadership, and the fear of failure haunted him in quieter moments. Yet these vulnerabilities only deepened the public's fascination. He was not a flawless hero but a complex man willing to expose his flaws in service of a greater cause. The combination of visionary ambition, personal sacrifice, and unpredictable humanity created a narrative that captivated millions. Elon's story challenged traditional ideas of success, showing that groundbreaking innovation often comes wrapped in contradictions. Through it all, his unwavering commitment to a better future never faltered. The key relationships throughout his rise shaped not only his path but the very nature of his innovations. Collaborators like Gwynne Shotwell at SpaceX and J.B. Straubel at Tesla were more than colleagues, they were trusted allies who helped translate Elon's sometimes wild ideas into tangible reality. At the same time, clashes with investors, board members, and competitors underscored the tensions inherent in pushing boundaries. Understanding these dynamics helps explain how Elon balanced creative chaos with disciplined execution. In the end, Elon Musk's rise to fame was not just about technological breakthroughs, it was about a man who refused to accept limits, whether imposed by others or himself. His story inspires because it reveals the messy, challenging, and deeply human journey behind innovation. As we move forward into the story of his latest invention, it's clear that the foundation laid during these years, of triumphs and setbacks, relationships forged and fractured, was critical. This next chapter in Elon's life will test every lesson he's learned, every relationship he's built, and every ounce of courage he's mustered. Because the future he's unveiling demands nothing less than his full self, flaws, hopes, fears, and all. As Elon Musk pushed forward with his newest project, the invention that would soon shock the world, the path grew increasingly fraught with tension, challenges, and mounting pressure from every angle. What began as a brilliant idea in a secluded lab quickly spiraled into a high-stakes battle between innovation and opposition, hope and despair, progress and resistance. The rising conflict around Elon's invention wasn't just external, it was deeply personal and professional, testing his resolve like never before. The first signs of trouble emerged within Elon's own team. The invention required integrating breakthroughs in quantum computing, renewable energy, and neural technology, a trifecta so complex that even the brightest minds struggled to keep pace. Frustrations mounted as deadlines loomed and unexpected technical roadblocks appeared. Heated debates erupted in conference rooms over design flaws, ethical implications, and practical feasibility. Elon's famously intense leadership style only fueled the stress. His demands for perfection pushed some team members to the brink, causing fractures in relationships that once seemed unbreakable. At the same time, whispers of dissent began leaking outside the company walls. Competitors, regulators, and powerful industry groups watched Elon's secret project with growing alarm. Rumors swirled that the invention could disrupt energy markets, challenge established powers, and even redefine human cognition. Lobbyists started working overtime to slow progress, and behind closed doors, political pressure mounted. Elon found himself facing not only technical challenges but a web of external forces intent on derailing the vision. These mounting pressures played out in a tense public arena. Media outlets speculated wildly, fueling both hype and fear. Public opinion divided sharply between fervent supporters who saw Elon as a savior of the future and vocal skeptics warning of reckless hubris and unknown dangers. Elon responded with a mixture of transparency and guarded secrecy, revealing tantalizing glimpses while keeping core details under wraps. This cat-and-mouse game amplified the tension, each leak and statement shifting the narrative unpredictably. At the heart of the conflict was Elon himself, grappling with the weight of expectations. The pressure to succeed was immense, years of personal sacrifice, reputation, and billions of dollars hung in the balance. He felt the sharp sting of self-doubt in quiet moments, wondering if the risks were worth it, if he could deliver what the world hoped for. Yet, as setbacks multiplied, Elon found glimmers of hope in unexpected places. A breakthrough in battery technology, a neural interface prototype surpassing expectations, a loyal team member stepping up with innovative ideas, these moments rekindled the fire. Elon's relentless optimism, even in the darkest hours, became a beacon for his team, reminding them that the impossible was within reach. These ups and downs played out dramatically, a roller coaster of hope and despair. Just when a critical test failed, hope surged from a last-minute solution. When public skepticism peaked, a supportive message from a respected scientist boosted morale. But then another obstacle would emerge, technical, financial, or political, forcing Elon and his team back into the fray. One of the most harrowing challenges came when a critical prototype malfunctioned during a live demonstration for potential investors. The device, meant to showcase a revolutionary leap in energy storage and processing, unexpectedly shut down, sending shockwaves through the room. The investors' disappointment was palpable, threatening funding that was vital to continuing the project. Elon took full responsibility publicly but felt the sting deeply. Behind the scenes, the team worked feverishly, diagnosing the cause and implementing fixes. The experience forged a stronger bond among them, fueled by shared purpose and urgency. Meanwhile, tensions with regulatory bodies escalated. Agencies concerned about safety and ethical risk scrutinized every aspect of the invention. Elon's outspoken style clashed with bureaucratic caution, sparking public disputes and delays. Critics accused him of arrogance and recklessness, while supporters argued that red tape threatened progress itself. Navigating these conflicts demanded political savvy and compromise, stretching Elon beyond his comfort zone. Amid these external battles, Elon faced personal trials. News of a family emergency reached him at a critical moment, forcing him to balance the competing demands of his personal and professional worlds. The struggle took an emotional toll, revealing the vulnerability behind his public image. Yet even in hardship, Elon found renewed strength, drawing on the love and support of those closest to him. These intertwined struggles, technical, political, personal, built to a crescendo that felt like a tipping point. The invention's future hung in the balance, and with it, Elon's legacy. Would the dream survive the storm? Or would the forces arrayed against it prove too powerful? Just when the pressure seemed overwhelming, a breakthrough emerged. A new collaboration with a pioneering research institute yielded data that validated the invention's core technology beyond expectations. The scientific community responded with cautious optimism, shifting the narrative from skepticism to hope. This moment was a powerful reminder that persistence could pay off and that innovation often requires weathering fierce storms. But the challenges were far from over. Shortly after this hopeful turn, a cyber attack targeted the project's core systems, threatening to expose sensitive data and disrupt progress. Elon's team scrambled to defend against the breach, highlighting the vulnerabilities and risks inherent in pushing technological frontiers. The attack underscored the high stakes involved and the lengths to which opponents might go to stall progress. Through these trials, Elon's resilience and leadership stood out. His ability to pivot between fierce determination and moments of humility inspired his team to keep pushing forward. He acknowledged the fears and doubts openly, creating a culture where setbacks were seen not as failures but as lessons on the path to success. The climax, hope, climax pattern repeated throughout these months. Tension spiked, hope blossomed, new obstacles appeared, but the underlying momentum continued to build. Elon's invention was no longer a distant dream, it was becoming an undeniable reality, even as the struggle to bring it fully into the world intensified. As the story moves forward, this chapter of rising conflict sets the stage for an even more dramatic journey. The personal sacrifices, the technical breakthroughs, the battles against powerful forces, all these elements combine to shape a story not just about invention but about the human spirit's capacity to endure and overcome. Elon Musk's unveiling of the future will not come without cost, but it promises to transform everything we thought possible. Stay with me as the adventure deepens and the stakes grow ever higher. The moment Elon Musk had worked toward for years was finally approaching. A climactic journey that would test every ounce of his vision, leadership, and endurance. As the unveiling of his most ambitious invention neared, the world held its breath, and Elon found himself at the crossroads of triumph and uncertainty. The invention was unlike anything ever seen before, a convergence of revolutionary energy systems, advanced neural networks, and quantum computing power. It promised not just to change industries but to redefine human potential. But before the grand reveal, Elon embarked on a personal and professional odyssey filled with unexpected twists, immense pressure, and breathtaking discoveries. The journey began in the high-tech corridors of Tesla's Silicon Valley headquarters, where the invention's prototype was housed under intense security. The lab was a labyrinth of glowing screens, humming servers, and sleek machinery, an almost otherworldly environment where the future was being built. Elon moved through the space with a mix of determination and awe, the weight of the project pressing on him but also filling him with electric excitement. Outside, the California sun was setting, casting long shadows over the sprawling campus. Elon's mind raced as he prepared for the next phase, a cross-country tour of testing facilities, investor briefings, and private demonstrations. This was more than a business trip, it was a gauntlet designed to prove the invention's viability in real-world conditions. The first stop was a secretive facility in Nevada, nestled deep in the desert. The stark landscape, with its endless dunes and clear, star-filled skies, stood in sharp contrast to the sleek technology inside the lab. Here, engineers conducted stress tests on the invention's energy core, pushing it to extremes of temperature, pressure, and electrical load. Elon watched as data streamed across monitors, heart pounding with every new reading. Each successful test felt like a small victory, a step closer to the future he envisioned. Yet the desert's harshness also reminded him of the challenges ahead, nature's unpredictability, the limits of technology, and the high stakes of his gamble. From Nevada, Elon traveled to an ultramodern research center in Boston, where neuroscientists and AI specialists integrated the invention's neural interface. The atmosphere was charged with intellectual energy, buzzing conversations about ethics, cognition, and the boundaries between human and machine. Elon engaged deeply with the team, absorbing their insights and encouraging bold experimentation. Late into the night, the lab glowed under the soft light of monitors as breakthroughs emerged, new data suggesting that the interface could enhance human creativity and problem-solving in unprecedented ways. This discovery, however, also raised difficult questions. Could such technology be controlled? What were the risks of altering the human mind? Elon grappled with these dilemmas privately, knowing that with great power came immense responsibility. Throughout this journey, Elon's personal life was a constant, quiet undercurrent. Messages from family reminded him of what grounded him, his children's laughter, a partner's support, the rare moments of calm amid chaos. These connections fueled his determination but also highlighted the sacrifices he was making. At times, the loneliness of leadership felt crushing, a solitary climb up a mountain where few could follow. Back in Silicon Valley, Elon faced growing pressure from investors demanding results and timelines. The tension in board meetings was palpable. Some questioned the feasibility of the project, others feared the risks to Tesla and SpaceX's core businesses. Elon's responses were measured but passionate, emphasizing vision over short-term gains and reminding stakeholders of the invention's transformative potential. The balance between conviction and diplomacy was delicate, yet Elon navigated it with a growing sense of maturity. As the tour continued, Elon found moments of unexpected inspiration. A visit to a remote university lab revealed a promising new material that could enhance the invention's efficiency. A chance conversation with a former astronaut sparked ideas about how the technology might aid long-duration space missions. These encounters reminded Elon that innovation was a collective endeavor, a tapestry woven from countless minds and experiences. Yet, not all encounters were positive. At a technology conference in New York, Elon faced harsh criticism from skeptics who labeled the invention as overhyped and dangerous. The confrontation was public and tense, testing Elon's composure. Instead of retreating, he used the moment to engage thoughtfully, addressing concerns and reinforcing the invention's safety protocols and ethical safeguards. The exchange garnered respect and sparked a broader public dialogue about the invention's implications. Throughout this climactic journey, vivid scenes unfolded, sunrises over desert testing grounds, late-night strategy sessions bathed in soft blue light, the hum of engines and servers blending with human voices driven by passion and hope. These moments created a tapestry of drama and determination, a testament to the arduous road from vision to reality. As the final leg of the journey approached, the public unveiling event in Los Angeles, Elon prepared for the most intense challenge yet. The stage was set at a massive convention center, packed with journalists, investors, scientists, and curious onlookers from around the globe. The air was thick with anticipation and skepticism. Months of secrecy gave way to a day that would either cement Elon's legacy or shatter dreams. Backstage, Elon stood alone for a moment, taking a deep breath as he reviewed every detail. The invention sat covered on stage, waiting to reveal its promise. The weight of years of sacrifice, conflict, and hope bore down, yet he felt ready. When the curtain finally rose, the room fell silent. Elon began to speak, his voice steady but charged with emotion. He told the story of the invention, not just the technology, but the human spirit behind it. As the device powered on, lights and screens came alive, demonstrating capabilities that left the audience breathless. For a moment, hope surged through the crowd. This was more than an invention, it was a glimpse into a future where humanity could overcome its greatest challenges. But just as the applause began, a sudden power fluctuation caused a system glitch, dimming the displays and silencing the room. The moment hung suspended in tension. Would this be the failure that undid everything? Elon acted swiftly, calmly guiding the technical team to troubleshoot while maintaining the audience's attention. Minutes later, the system rebooted, the displays returned, and the invention's full capabilities shone brighter than ever. The room erupted in cheers. This emotional climax, where hope flickered, faltered, then blazed anew, embodied the very essence of Elon's journey. The invention was real. The future was possible. Yet, even as celebration filled the air, Elon knew the journey was far from over. The invention's impact would ripple across industries, societies, and individual lives in ways yet to be understood. The next chapters would bring new challenges, regulatory hurdles, ethical debates, and the ongoing struggle to balance progress with responsibility. But in this moment, the emotional peak was undeniable. Elon Musk had unveiled not just an invention, but a vision of what humanity could achieve when boldness met perseverance. As the event closed, Elon reflected quietly on the road traveled, from a curious boy in South Africa, through years of sacrifice, conflicts, and breakthroughs, to this pivotal day. The journey had shaped him in ways he never imagined, teaching lessons about hope, resilience, and the power of dreaming beyond limits. The world would now watch closely, inspired and wary, as the story of this invention continued to unfold. But for Elon, this climactic journey was a profound affirmation. The future was not written, it was waiting to be created. And he was ready to lead the way. The day that Elon Musk and his team had prepared for years finally arrived, bringing with it a mix of anticipation, anxiety, and raw emotion that none could fully anticipate. Behind the polished facade of the invention's unveiling was a deeper, more profound moment, a revelation that would shake not only the technology world but also the very understanding of what it meant to be human. As the audience gathered in the grand hall, the atmosphere crackled with tension. Journalists, investors, scientists, and curious onlookers filled every seat, their faces a blend of skepticism, hope, and excitement. Elon, standing backstage moments before stepping into the spotlight, felt a surge of conflicting emotions. Pride in his team's relentless effort, fear of failure, and a quiet but persistent hope that this moment would validate the years of sacrifice. The invention itself was covered beneath a sleek, reflective shell, a symbol of the future yet to be fully revealed. As Elon began his speech, his voice carried both the weight of responsibility and the spark of vision. He spoke not only about the technology but about the dreams and fears that had fueled it, the desire to solve humanity's most pressing problems, and the ethical questions that came with such power. Then, with a slow, deliberate motion, the cover was lifted. The invention glowed softly, its surface alive with pulsing lights that seemed almost sentient. The room fell into a hush, every eye fixed on the object that promised to change everything. Elon explained how the invention integrated quantum energy cells with advanced neural interfaces, allowing unprecedented control over energy consumption, human cognition, and even the environment. It was designed to not just augment human capability but to harmonize technology with natural systems in ways previously thought impossible. The demonstration began, showcasing the invention's ability to instantly process vast amounts of data, optimize energy flows, and adapt to changing conditions. The crowd watched in awe as lights dimmed and brightened across the stage, sensors responded instantly to subtle commands, and the system projected holographic simulations that illustrated its potential. Then came the emotional climax, a live connection between the invention and Elon himself. He allowed a neural interface prototype to link with his brain, enabling direct control and feedback. As the connection established, Elon's expression shifted subtly. He described a profound sensory experience, a blending of thought and machine that transcended ordinary perception. The audience could almost feel the intensity of the moment, as if witnessing a new form of consciousness emerging. But just as the demonstration reached its peak, a sudden system alert flashed, a critical error detected in the neural feedback loop. The lights flickered, and Elon's connection briefly faltered, causing a wave of concern across the hall. In that instant, the stakes crystallized. The technology was powerful, but still fragile, its impact unpredictable. Elon quickly disengaged, explaining calmly to the audience that this was an expected risk, a reminder that innovation was an ongoing journey, not a finished product. This moment of vulnerability deepened the emotional impact. Instead of detracting from the event, it humanized Elon and the invention, reminding everyone that great breakthroughs require courage to face uncertainty. The crowd responded with empathy and renewed enthusiasm, recognizing the honesty and transparency. After the demonstration, questions poured in, some skeptical, others deeply curious. Elon answered with patience and clarity, acknowledging fears about privacy, safety, and ethical boundaries. He emphasized the rigorous safeguards in place and the company's commitment to responsible development. This openness fostered a dialogue that extended beyond the event, sparking public conversations about the future of technology and humanity's role in shaping it. Behind the scenes, the emotional climax was even more intense. Elon retreated briefly to a quiet room, where he allowed himself to absorb the magnitude of what had just happened. The triumph was tempered by the knowledge that this was only the beginning, challenges and obstacles still lay ahead. But in that moment, surrounded by a handful of trusted team members, Elon allowed a rare expression of relief and gratitude. The months of relentless work, personal sacrifice, and mounting pressure had culminated in a moment that transcended business or technology. It was a milestone for humanity itself. Yet, the climax, hope, climax pattern continued. Just as hope surged within Elon and his supporters, news broke of a powerful coalition forming to oppose the widespread adoption of the invention. Governments and industry leaders, fearing disruption and loss of control, launched investigations and regulatory actions aimed at slowing or halting its progress. Public opinion, once overwhelmingly positive, became polarized, with fears about unintended consequences and misuse gaining traction. Elon found himself at the center of a storm that tested every skill he had developed: public relations, legal strategy, and crisis management. The second climax was harsh and disorienting. Critics questioned Elon's motives, accusing him of recklessness or hidden agendas. Media outlets dissected every misstep, magnifying doubts and fears. Even some longtime allies wavered under the pressure. In the midst of this turbulence, Elon doubled down on his commitment, engaging openly with regulators, participating in public forums, and inviting independent oversight. His willingness to confront challenges head-on, rather than retreating, gradually restored some trust. The battles were exhausting, but they reinforced the core lesson that meaningful change is never easy. The emotional roller coaster also played out in Elon's personal life. The public scrutiny took a toll on his relationships, and moments of isolation contrasted sharply with the exhilaration of his professional achievements. He confided to close friends that the invention's journey was as much about inner growth as technological advancement, learning patience, empathy, and the limits of control. This introspection added depth to his character and the story as a whole. As the chapter closed, the emotional climax settled into a complex mixture of hope tempered by realism. Elon Musk's invention was no longer just a product or a dream, it was a catalyst for societal transformation with profound implications. The road ahead promised more challenges, but also opportunities for profound impact. The audience was left with a powerful message: innovation is a human journey marked by triumph and trial, courage and doubt. Elon's story, with all its intensity and complexity, embodied this truth. After the emotional highs and lows of the unveiling, Elon Musk faced the daunting task of steering his invention from breakthrough to broad acceptance. The weeks that followed were a crucible of reflection and resolution, as Elon and his team grappled with the immense responsibility now resting on their shoulders. The invention's potential to reshape industries, societies, and individual lives was undeniable, but so too were the risks, doubts, and opposition. This chapter marks the beginning of a profound transformation, not just for the technology, but for Elon himself. In the days after the event, Elon spent long hours reviewing feedback, analyzing data, and meeting with stakeholders. The intense public scrutiny and regulatory challenges had forced a new level of humility and openness. Elon understood that leadership was no longer about imposing a vision alone but about fostering collaboration and trust. He convened a series of roundtable discussions with scientists, ethicists, regulators, and community leaders, inviting diverse perspectives to guide the invention's development. These conversations were sometimes tense, revealing deep divisions and conflicting priorities. Yet, they also sparked new ideas and pathways forward. Elon found himself listening more than speaking, learning from voices he had once overlooked. This shift was difficult but necessary. Meanwhile, the invention's development entered a new phase focused on refinement and safety. The team worked tirelessly to address technical vulnerabilities, improve user interfaces, and embed ethical safeguards. Every adjustment was painstaking, often requiring compromises that tested the balance between innovation and caution. Elon's leadership evolved as he empowered his team to take ownership and innovate within a framework of responsibility. Outside the lab, the public discourse around the invention matured. Initial excitement gave way to nuanced debates about privacy, equity, and the role of technology in society. Elon participated actively in media interviews, educational forums, and community outreach, emphasizing transparency and the shared nature of progress. He spoke candidly about the challenges ahead, acknowledging fears and uncertainties while reaffirming commitment to positive impact. Amid these external efforts, Elon's personal journey deepened. The stresses of leadership and public scrutiny were countered by moments of quiet reflection with family and close friends. These relationships, tested but enduring, provided a foundation of love and support that sustained him. Elon spoke openly about the sacrifices made and the lessons learned, about patience, empathy, and the importance of balance between ambition and humanity. This period of resolution brought a new clarity to Elon's vision. The invention was no longer simply a technical marvel but a catalyst for social change. Elon embraced a broader mission, to ensure that the technology served humanity's highest values, fostering connection, empowerment, and sustainability. This philosophical shift was reflected in the company's new initiatives, education programs, ethical review boards, and partnerships with global organizations committed to equitable progress. Yet, even as resolution began to take hold, the story retained its tension. Challenges persisted: regulatory hurdles, competitive pressures, and the ever-present risk of unforeseen consequences. Elon remained vigilant, understanding that true success required constant adaptation and vigilance. The hope climax pattern continued to shape the journey, reminding all involved that progress was a dynamic, evolving process. As the chapter drew to a close, Elon stood once more before a global audience, this time to share lessons learned and a vision for the future. His message was one of hope grounded in realism. Innovation was a collective endeavor marked by struggle and triumph, sacrifice and growth. The invention was a beginning, not an endpoint, a tool to be wielded wisely and compassionately. The story closed with a profound reflection, that true leadership required not just genius or courage but humility and love. Elon Musk's journey with this invention was a testament to the human spirit's capacity to dream, endure, and ultimately, transform the world for the better. Elon Musk's journey with his groundbreaking invention was far from over. Despite the hope that had begun to settle after the initial unveiling and resolution phase, the path ahead was riddled with fresh challenges that tested his resilience and ingenuity. The initial excitement had faded into a more complex reality, a world where innovation collided with politics, economics, and human nature. It was here, in the heart of this evolving battlefield, that Elon found his character evolving in unexpected ways. The first new obstacle came in the form of fierce competition. Rival companies, seeing the potential disruption Elon's invention promised, accelerated their own research and development efforts, some resorting to aggressive tactics to undermine Tesla's progress. Elon had anticipated competition but not the speed or intensity with which it would escalate. Lawsuits appeared, accusing Tesla of patent infringement and monopolistic practices. These legal battles drained resources and distracted the team, threatening to stall momentum. Elon's approach, however, was to confront these challenges head-on. He became more strategic in navigating the corporate warfare, enlisting top legal minds and adopting a dual focus on innovation and protection. These pressures forced Elon to delegate more, trusting senior leaders to manage day-to-day operations while he concentrated on vision and big-picture strategy. This shift was both empowering and difficult, as relinquishing control challenged his perfectionist tendencies. Meanwhile, public skepticism lingered in pockets of society uneasy about rapid technological change. Elon engaged more deeply with these communities, traveling to towns and cities across America to listen and learn. In town halls and informal gatherings, he faced tough questions about job displacement, privacy, and the risk of technology deepening social divides. These encounters humbled Elon and broadened his understanding of technology's human impact. They inspired new initiatives within his company aimed at workforce retraining and digital inclusion, reflecting a growing commitment to social responsibility. Unexpectedly, Elon also encountered a personal challenge that shook him to his core, a public controversy involving a close associate whose actions threatened to damage the invention's reputation. The betrayal was painful, not just professionally but personally. It forced Elon to reevaluate his circle of trust and reinforced the loneliness often hidden beneath his public persona. Yet, from this crisis emerged growth. Elon strengthened his leadership team, placing greater emphasis on integrity and shared values. He also learned to balance vulnerability with strength, sharing his experience publicly to foster transparency and resilience. As these tensions played out, the invention itself underwent rapid evolution. New discoveries in materials science and artificial intelligence unlocked capabilities previously thought impossible. Elon's team integrated these advances, pushing the boundaries of what the invention could do while maintaining rigorous safety standards. These breakthroughs reignited excitement internally and among early adopters, fueling a renewed wave of enthusiasm. Throughout these developments, Elon's personal life remained a complex landscape. The demands of leadership often pulled him away from family and friends, creating moments of guilt and longing. Yet, he found solace in small rituals, quiet dinners, late-night conversations, and occasional escapes to nature. These moments provided grounding and reminded him of the deeper purpose behind his work. By the chapter's end, Elon stood at a new crossroads. The invention had moved from prototype to scalable technology with growing adoption worldwide. Yet, the stakes were higher than ever. Geopolitical tensions, environmental concerns, and ethical debates converged, demanding a delicate balance between progress and caution. Elon's character had matured, tempered by setbacks and enriched by unexpected lessons. He embodied a leader not just of technology but of people. Someone who understood that true innovation required wisdom, empathy, and courage to navigate the unpredictable currents ahead. The story continued, full of tension and hope, as Elon Musk unveiled not just inventions but a vision for a future shaped by human determination and compassion. Elon Musk's relentless pursuit of progress had propelled his invention into a new era, but with each step forward, the challenges grew more complex and unpredictable. As the technology gained global traction, Elon found himself navigating not only technical and business hurdles but also deeper philosophical questions about the role of innovation in society. This chapter delves into the rising conflict surrounding the invention's impact on everyday lives, and Elon's evolving mindset as he confronts unforeseen consequences. The world was changing rapidly. Cities began to integrate Elon's invention into infrastructure, reshaping transportation, energy use, and communication. Early adopters praised the convenience and efficiency, while critics warned of overdependence and loss of privacy. Elon watched these debates with a mix of pride and concern, aware that the invention's power carried immense responsibility. A new controversy erupted when a major metropolitan area experienced a sudden system malfunction linked to the invention's network. Power grids flickered, communication lines scrambled, and chaos briefly ensued. Though the disruption was quickly contained, it sparked widespread fear and intensified regulatory scrutiny. Elon responded swiftly, launching an independent investigation and publicly sharing findings. He admitted flaws, promised improvements, and emphasized a commitment to safety. This transparency was both a calculated risk and a moral imperative, further humanizing Elon in the public eye. The incident deepened Elon's awareness of the delicate balance between innovation and risk. Behind the scenes, his team worked feverishly to reinforce security protocols and enhance system resilience. The pressure was immense, but it also galvanized the company's engineers and researchers, fostering a renewed spirit of collaboration and creativity. Elon's leadership style evolved as he encouraged open communication, inviting even the harshest critics within the company to speak freely. This openness led to breakthroughs that not only addressed immediate problems but also expanded the invention's capabilities in unexpected ways. Meanwhile, Elon faced internal conflicts as his vision clashed with market demands. Investors pushed for faster rollout and higher profits, while Elon prioritized ethical considerations and long-term sustainability. These tensions strained relationships but also underscored the complexity of balancing innovation with business realities. Elon's personal relationships mirrored these challenges. Friends and family struggled to understand the toll the invention took on him, the sleepless nights, the emotional roller coaster, the relentless public scrutiny. Elon wrestled with feelings of isolation, yet found strength in moments of connection, whether a heartfelt conversation or a simple gesture of support. These experiences deepened his empathy and shaped the company culture, fostering an environment where human well-being was as valued as technological advancement. Unexpectedly, Elon discovered a new application for the invention that held promise to address pressing environmental concerns. By harnessing the invention's advanced energy optimization and neural interface technologies, the team developed a prototype system to monitor and repair damaged ecosystems. This breakthrough opened a new chapter in the story, merging technology with stewardship of the planet. Elon embraced this opportunity with renewed passion, seeing it as a way to align his invention with the greater good. However, this hopeful development also introduced fresh dilemmas. The prototype's complexity and cost raised questions about accessibility and equity. Elon grappled with how to ensure that the benefits of this innovation reached all communities, not just the privileged few. These reflections led to partnerships with nonprofits, governments, and grassroots organizations, emphasizing inclusivity and shared responsibility. The narrative tension remained high as Elon balanced optimism with realism. The journey was marked by moments of triumph and setback, clarity and doubt. The climax, hope, climax rhythm persisted, illustrating the nonlinear path of true progress. As the chapter closed, Elon stood at the intersection of technology and humanity, poised to guide his invention, and perhaps the world, toward a future defined not just by what was possible, but by what was right. The story's heart beat with a powerful message: innovation is a force that must be wielded with wisdom, compassion, and courage. Elon Musk's saga was a testament to this truth, an unfolding drama of discovery and determination that inspired and challenged all who witnessed it. Hit subscribe and leave a comment with where you're watching from. This story might just spark a new beginning. What's one thing that always pushes you forward, even when things get tough? Elon Musk's journey with his revolutionary invention had reached a crossroads where the line between genius and responsibility blurred, forcing him to confront ethical dilemmas that challenged not only his vision but his very identity. As adoption accelerated worldwide, the consequences of the technology's power became increasingly apparent, sparking debates about control, freedom, and the nature of progress. This chapter explores Elon's internal struggle as he grapples with these profound questions amid mounting external pressure. The invention's neural interface, initially heralded as a breakthrough in human-machine synergy, began to reveal unforeseen complexities. While its ability to enhance cognition and communication was remarkable, concerns surfaced about privacy breaches, data security, and potential manipulation. Governments and advocacy groups called for stringent regulations, igniting fierce debates that polarized public opinion. Elon, caught in the eye of the storm, sought to balance innovation with caution. He convened ethics committees composed of diverse experts, philosophers, scientists, legal scholars, to guide policy and development. These discussions were intense and often uncomfortable, exposing the limits of technology and the ambiguous terrain of moral responsibility. Elon listened deeply, sometimes challenged, yet remained committed to transparency and accountability. Meanwhile, the invention's impact on society became a lightning rod for broader anxieties about the future. Some hailed it as a tool for empowerment and equality, while others feared it would deepen existing disparities and erode human autonomy. Elon found himself mediating between hope and skepticism, advocating for inclusive policies that prioritized human dignity. The tension extended to his personal life. The weight of leadership and public scrutiny strained relationships with family and friends. Elon wrestled with moments of self-doubt, questioning whether the pursuit of progress was worth the personal cost. Yet, amid this turmoil, he discovered resilience in vulnerability, sharing his struggles openly, fostering connection and understanding. In parallel, Elon faced challenges within his company. Some executives pushed for rapid commercialization, risking shortcuts that threatened safety and ethics. Elon resisted, emphasizing the need for deliberate, principled advancement. This stance created friction but ultimately reinforced the company's culture of integrity. Technical breakthroughs continued, including advancements that allowed users to opt into customizable levels of interface integration. This innovation offered new possibilities for personalization and control, addressing some privacy concerns. Elon championed these features as examples of responsible innovation, blending cutting-edge technology with respect for individual choice. A pivotal moment came when a high-profile incident involving unauthorized data access triggered widespread alarm. Elon responded decisively, cooperating fully with investigations and accelerating security enhancements. He used the crisis as a teaching moment, advocating for vigilance and collective responsibility. This episode deepened public discourse about the delicate balance between technological power and ethical stewardship. Throughout these challenges, Elon's character evolved. He embraced complexity and uncertainty, recognizing that leadership required humility as much as vision. His public addresses reflected a nuanced understanding of progress, not as a linear march but as a dynamic interplay of innovation, ethics, and human values. The chapter's climax centered on a major international summit convened to establish global standards for neural interface technology. Elon played a central role, navigating diverse interests and forging consensus. The summit symbolized both the promise and peril of the invention, highlighting the need for collaboration beyond borders and sectors. As the chapter closed, Elon stood at the nexus of possibility and responsibility. The invention's transformative potential was undeniable, but so were the ethical questions it raised. Elon's journey embodied the ongoing challenge of harnessing innovation for the common good, a story marked by tension, hope, and profound human insight. The message was clear: the future belongs to those who lead with wisdom, empathy, and courage. Elon Musk's saga continued to unfold, a beacon of aspiration and reflection in a world on the brink of extraordinary change. The momentum behind Elon Musk's invention showed no signs of slowing, yet beneath the surface, tension simmered, within the company, across global stakeholders, and most poignantly, inside Elon himself. The ethical frameworks and regulatory safeguards put in place after the summit brought stability, but also revealed fault lines that threatened to fracture progress. In this chapter, Elon confronts unforeseen betrayals, deepening emotional turmoil, and a revelation that forces him to reconsider everything he thought he knew. Months after the summit, Tesla's neural interface technology had become an integral part of daily life for millions. The seamless connection between human thought and digital systems promised to revolutionize education, healthcare, and work. Elon was proud but vigilant, knowing that with great power came great risk. That vigilance was tested when an internal whistleblower surfaced, revealing attempts by a faction within Tesla to exploit the invention for covert data collection and influence. The betrayal cut deep. Elon felt both anger and sorrow, not just at the breach of trust but at the potential harm to the people the technology was meant to serve. He immediately launched an internal investigation, determined to root out corruption while protecting innocent employees and the company's integrity. This crisis forced Elon into a relentless cycle of meetings, public statements, and personal reflection. The media frenzy was intense, with headlines questioning the invention's safety and the company's ethics. Elon responded with raw honesty, acknowledging the problem and committing to radical transparency. He invited independent auditors and reinforced Tesla's commitment to ethical innovation. Amid the turmoil, Elon found solace in unexpected places. Conversations with close friends and family became lifelines, grounding him amid the storm. He realized the importance of vulnerability and connection, lessons he had often overlooked in his drive for success. These relationships helped him maintain perspective and renewed his sense of purpose. Meanwhile, the internal investigation uncovered a startling truth: the faction involved was not merely motivated by greed but influenced by external actors seeking to destabilize Tesla and control the invention's future. This revelation expanded the conflict from corporate intrigue to a broader geopolitical struggle. Elon recognized that his invention had become a battleground for power beyond technology. Navigating this new reality demanded strategic alliances and unprecedented cooperation. Elon reached out to international leaders, tech pioneers, and civil society groups to build a coalition committed to safeguarding the invention's integrity. These efforts were difficult, fraught with mistrust and competing agendas, but Elon's persistence and authenticity helped bridge divides. In the midst of this external conflict, Elon wrestled with personal doubts. He questioned whether the dream that had driven him, of using technology to uplift humanity, was slipping away amid forces beyond his control. The emotional weight was heavy, and at times, despair threatened to overwhelm hope. Yet, in moments of quiet reflection, Elon found clarity. He reaffirmed his belief in the invention's potential and the resilience of the human spirit. This internal victory was as significant as any technical breakthrough. Unexpectedly, a breakthrough came when Elon's team developed a new security protocol combining quantum encryption and AI-driven anomaly detection. This innovation significantly enhanced protection against hacking and manipulation, restoring confidence among users and stakeholders. Elon framed this success as a testament to the power of perseverance and collaboration. The chapter's emotional climax occurred when Elon visited a rehabilitation center where the invention was used to aid patients recovering from severe brain injuries. Witnessing firsthand the profound impact on individuals' lives rekindled his commitment. The gratitude and hope in the patient's eyes reminded him why the struggle was worth it. As the chapter closed, Elon stood renewed, both as a visionary and a human being. The path ahead remained fraught with challenges, but he understood that true leadership was not about perfection but about resilience, empathy, and the courage to face uncertainty. The story continued to unfold, a powerful saga of innovation, trust, and the unbreakable bonds that define us. Elon Musk's journey was far from over, but his spirit burned brighter than ever, lighting the way toward a future shaped by compassion and determination. The challenges Elon Musk faced in the wake of the internal betrayal and geopolitical tensions did not diminish his resolve. Instead, they ignited a fire within him to push forward with even greater determination. The invention had transcended its original purpose, becoming a symbol of hope and possibility, but also a target of competing interests and ethical quandaries. In this chapter, Elon navigates new alliances, unexpected discoveries, and a personal reckoning that reshapes his vision of the future. Following the revelation of external forces attempting to manipulate Tesla's invention, Elon realized the need to broaden his coalition beyond corporate and governmental actors. He reached out to global nonprofit organizations, grassroots activists, and independent researchers, aiming to create a movement that prioritized the common good above profit or power. These alliances brought fresh perspectives and energy, transforming the narrative around the invention from one of control to one of shared stewardship. Collaborating with environmental groups, Elon spearheaded initiatives leveraging the invention's capabilities to combat climate change and restore ecosystems damaged by industrialization. The technology's ability to monitor environmental conditions in real time and stimulate natural regeneration offered unprecedented opportunities. These projects generated optimism and demonstrated practical benefits that extended beyond urban centers into rural and marginalized communities. The emotional impact on Elon was profound. He witnessed firsthand how technology could heal, not just disrupt. This renewed his belief in the ethical imperative of innovation. At the same time, the complexity of these efforts exposed unforeseen challenges. Coordinating diverse stakeholders with varying priorities required delicate diplomacy and patience. Elon's leadership evolved further as he embraced listening and facilitation as much as decision-making. He became a bridge builder, fostering trust and collaboration in a world marked by fragmentation. Amid these external developments, Elon embarked on a personal journey of reflection and healing. The pressures and betrayals had taken a toll, straining relationships and testing his resilience. He sought balance through mindfulness practices, time spent in nature, and meaningful conversations with loved ones. These moments nurtured his emotional intelligence and deepened his understanding of himself as both a leader and a human being. A surprising discovery emerged when Tesla's research team identified a latent feature within the invention's neural interface, an ability to enhance emotional empathy and interpersonal connection. This breakthrough promised to transform social dynamics, potentially bridging divides and fostering understanding across cultural and ideological lines. Elon was exhilarated by the possibilities but cautious, aware of the ethical implications. He convened expert panels to explore responsible development and deployment of this feature, emphasizing consent and individual autonomy. The invention was no longer just a tool for efficiency or intelligence, it was becoming a catalyst for deeper human connection. This shift in the invention's purpose resonated deeply with Elon's evolving philosophy. He began to speak publicly about technology as an extension of human values, not a replacement. His messages inspired renewed faith among supporters and challenged critics to reconsider their assumptions. Yet, the path forward remained fraught with tension. Rival factions continued to resist the democratization of the invention, seeking to maintain control through monopolistic practices and misinformation campaigns. Elon's coalition faced ongoing battles in boardrooms, courts, and public opinion. These struggles underscored the story's central theme, the intertwined nature of technological progress and human ethics. As the chapter closed, Elon stood at a pivotal moment. The invention was evolving beyond his wildest dreams, embodying not just innovation but the possibility of a more connected, compassionate world. Elon himself had transformed, from a visionary driven by ambition to a leader shaped by humility and empathy. The journey was far from over, but the horizon held promise. Elon Musk's story was a beacon for all who believed in the power of human creativity, resilience, and love to shape a better future. As Elon Musk's invention continued to weave itself deeper into the fabric of society, the stakes around its future grew ever higher. This chapter opens with a surge of public enthusiasm tempered by underlying fears, setting the stage for a breakthrough that would redefine not only technology but also humanity's understanding of connection and identity. Elon, now seasoned by trials both personal and professional, faced the challenge of guiding his invention through a volatile landscape of hope, skepticism, and opposition. The story picks up with Elon attending a major international technology summit, where leaders from across the globe gathered to discuss the next phase of innovation. The air buzzed with anticipation as Elon prepared to unveil a new version of the neural interface, one that promised seamless integration with human emotions, not just thoughts. This advancement, the result of years of research and ethical deliberation, had the potential to revolutionize communication, education, and mental health treatment. Yet, it also posed profound questions about privacy, consent, and the essence of self. As Elon stepped onto the stage, the room fell silent. His presentation was both visionary and grounded, weaving technical detail with stories of individuals whose lives had been transformed by the invention. Among them was a young woman who, after a debilitating stroke, regained the ability to express herself and connect with loved ones through the interface's emotional capabilities. The audience was moved, but the unveiling also sparked intense debate. Critics questioned whether such deep integration risked blurring boundaries between human autonomy and technological influence. Elon welcomed these concerns, emphasizing the invention's design for customizable levels of connection and user control. He called for ongoing dialogue and collaboration to navigate these ethical frontiers. Behind the scenes, Elon's leadership was tested by internal dissent. Some members of his team pushed for rapid commercialization, eager to capitalize on the breakthrough's potential. Elon, however, insisted on measured rollout and comprehensive user education, wary of unintended consequences. This tension reflected the broader theme of balance between innovation's promise and prudence. The narrative intensified when a rival corporation launched a counteroffensive, claiming their own technology was superior and accusing Tesla of overhyping the interface's capabilities. The ensuing media battle threatened to undermine public trust and disrupt global markets. Elon responded with clarity and composure, inviting independent evaluations and reinforcing transparency. The conflict underscored the competitive and political forces shaping technology's trajectory. Amid the turmoil, Elon's personal life remained a source of grounding and complexity. His relationships deepened, marked by moments of vulnerability and connection that reminded him of the human heart at the center of his work. A poignant scene unfolds as Elon visits a community center where people from diverse backgrounds share their experiences with the invention, highlighting its power to bridge divides and foster empathy. This encounter rekindles Elon's optimism and fortifies his resolve. Unexpectedly, a scientific team within Tesla uncovered a phenomenon they termed emotional resonance, where users of the interface could not only share feelings but also influence each other's emotional states in subtle, unconscious ways. This discovery opened new avenues for therapy and social cohesion but also raised urgent questions about consent and manipulation. Elon convened a global forum of ethicists, neuroscientists, and policymakers to address these concerns, exemplifying his commitment to responsible innovation. The chapter culminates in a dramatic public demonstration of the new interface's capabilities, broadcast worldwide. Elon and a diverse group of users showcased the technology's transformative potential, facilitating cross-cultural understanding, healing trauma, and enhancing creativity. The event sparks a wave of enthusiasm tempered by cautious reflection. As the chapter closes, Elon stands at the threshold of a new era. The invention, once a nascent idea, now embodied the complexity and beauty of human experience, challenging the world to rethink the relationship between technology and identity. Elon's journey, marked by resilience, insight, and compassion, illuminated a path forward, one where innovation served as a bridge rather than a barrier, and where the future was shaped not just by what machines could do, but by what humanity could become. The story's heartbeat echoed with the timeless truth: progress requires not just invention, but wisdom, empathy, and the courage to embrace the unknown. Elon Musk's invention had reached a pivotal moment where its transformative potential was undeniable, yet new challenges emerged with startling speed, threatening to unravel the progress made so far. This chapter plunges into the rising tension as Elon confronts unforeseen obstacles, from technological vulnerabilities to personal betrayals, and explores the emotional depths of leadership amid crisis. The public's reaction to the latest demonstration of the neural interface's emotional resonance was overwhelmingly positive, sparking excitement about a future where barriers of communication and empathy could be broken down. But beneath this optimism lay a shadow of concern. Reports began to surface of users experiencing unintended side effects, emotional overload, difficulty distinguishing between personal feelings and those transmitted through the interface, and rare but serious neurological symptoms. Elon took these reports seriously, refusing to dismiss the experiences of individuals affected. He initiated a comprehensive review with his medical and scientific teams, determined to understand the causes and develop safeguards. This inquiry revealed that the very feature that allowed emotional resonance also exposed users to heightened sensitivity, creating vulnerabilities that had not been fully anticipated. The complexity of balancing innovation with user safety deepened the ethical quandaries Elon had long wrestled with. In parallel, a faction within Tesla's leadership, frustrated by the cautious pace of development, began to push back, arguing that overregulation and fear were stifling progress and risking the company's competitive edge. Tensions escalated as Elon's insistence on transparency and prudence clashed with calls for aggressive expansion. These internal conflicts echoed the broader societal debates, underscoring the story's recurring theme of navigating the fragile interplay between ambition and responsibility. The situation intensified when a trusted executive, one of Elon's earliest allies, was revealed to have leaked sensitive information to a rival corporation. This betrayal was a personal blow, shaking Elon's faith and fueling a period of introspection. He grappled with questions of trust, loyalty, and the loneliness of leadership at the frontier of change. Friends and family offered support, but Elon knew that some challenges could only be faced alone. Despite these setbacks, Elon found inspiration in unexpected places. A visit to a rehabilitation center where the neural interface had helped patients regain communication sparked renewed hope. Seeing the profound human impact reminded him why the struggle was worthwhile. The patient's stories became a touchstone, guiding Elon's decisions and reinforcing his commitment to ethical innovation. Scientific breakthroughs continued amid the turmoil. Elon's team developed adaptive algorithms that allowed the interface to modulate emotional input, reducing adverse effects and enhancing user control. This advance was hailed as a milestone, but Elon remained cautious, emphasizing ongoing vigilance and user education. Publicly, Elon addressed the challenges with honesty and humility, framing setbacks as integral to progress and calling for collective effort to navigate the complexities ahead. As regulatory bodies intensified scrutiny, Elon engaged in open dialogue, advocating for balanced policies that protected users without stifling innovation. This approach won respect from many quarters but also drew criticism from those demanding faster action or harsher restrictions. The chapter's emotional climax occurs during a tense board meeting where Elon confronts opposition within Tesla and must assert his vision against mounting pressure. The scene reveals the weight of leadership, the burden of making decisions that affect millions and the necessity of standing firm in the face of doubt. Elon's resolve shines through, tempered by empathy and realism. As the chapter closes, Elon reflects on the intertwined nature of technology and humanity. The invention was more than a machine. It was a mirror reflecting both the potential and fragility of the human condition. Elon's journey had transformed him, teaching lessons of resilience, trust, and the power of hope amid uncertainty. The story's pulse quickens with anticipation, setting the stage for the next chapter in this extraordinary saga of innovation, ethics, and the quest for connection. Elon Musk found himself navigating a complex landscape where innovation and human vulnerability intersected in ways he had only begun to understand. The neural interface's promise of emotional resonance had opened a new chapter in the story of human connection, but it also revealed unexpected dimensions of risk and responsibility. This chapter explores Elon's journey through breakthroughs in technology, personal revelations, and escalating tensions that tested his leadership and vision. The breakthrough adaptive algorithms, designed to modulate emotional input and protect users from overload, marked a turning point for the invention. These algorithms allowed users unprecedented control over their experience, offering customizable filters and safeguards that balanced immersion with safety. Elon's team celebrated this milestone, but Elon himself viewed it as the beginning of a much larger conversation about the evolving relationship between humans and machines. He recognized that technology was no longer a mere tool but an extension of the human psyche, capable of shaping identity and social bonds. This realization deepened his commitment to embedding ethical principles into every layer of development. Amid these technical advances, Elon's personal life experienced moments of clarity and growth. The betrayals and setbacks had weighed heavily, yet they also fostered resilience and introspection. He spent more time with his closest friends and family, engaging in candid conversations about fears, hopes, and the meaning of success. These interactions grounded him and reminded him that beyond the public spotlight, true connection required vulnerability and presence. A turning point came when Elon reconnected with an old mentor who challenged him to think beyond technology, to consider the spiritual and philosophical implications of his invention. Their dialogues delved into questions of consciousness, free will, and the nature of empathy, enriching Elon's understanding and expanding his vision. At the same time, tensions within Tesla and the wider industry persisted. Rival companies accelerated their own neural technologies, sometimes cutting corners to gain market share. The race intensified, fueling ethical dilemmas and competitive pressures that threatened to undermine the invention's positive impact. Elon found himself balancing assertive defense of his principles with strategic moves to maintain leadership in a rapidly shifting field. Public perception fluctuated with every news cycle, celebrations of breakthroughs alternated with scrutiny over challenges and controversies. Elon used social media and public forums to engage directly with users and critics alike, fostering a culture of openness and dialogue. This approach helped build trust but also exposed him to relentless questioning and critique. The emotional toll was significant, and Elon acknowledged moments of doubt and fatigue. Yet, in these moments, he found renewed purpose in stories from users whose lives were transformed. People who had overcome isolation, disability, or trauma through the interface. These testimonials became a wellspring of inspiration, fueling Elon's perseverance. The chapter's climax centers on a dramatic summit where Elon presents a comprehensive vision for the future, a framework integrating technology, ethics, and human flourishing. His speech calls for global cooperation, inclusive innovation, and ongoing reflection on the social impact of emerging technologies. The response is mixed but passionate, sparking intense debate and energizing supporters. As the chapter closes, Elon stands poised between the promise of unprecedented progress and the weight of profound responsibility. His journey embodies the evolving dance between human aspiration and humility, innovation and wisdom. The invention, once a bold idea, now represented a shared future, complex, uncertain, and full of potential. Elon Musk's story continues, a testament to the power of vision, resilience, and the enduring quest to bridge the gap between what is and what could be. The world stood at a crossroads as Elon Musk's invention edged closer to reshaping humanity's very essence. With every breakthrough came amplified scrutiny and pressure, from governments, competitors, and society itself. This chapter plunges into Elon's confrontation with these escalating challenges, highlighting moments of emotional strain, difficult choices, and unexpected alliances that would shape the invention's destiny. Following the ambitious summit where Elon laid out a visionary framework for integrating technology with ethics and human flourishing, the momentum shifted. While many applauded the call for cooperation and responsibility, powerful interests viewed the invention's democratization as a threat. Behind closed doors, lobbying efforts intensified to slow or control its deployment, citing fears over privacy, security, and societal disruption. Elon found himself entangled in a complex web of political maneuvering, navigating between transparency and strategic discretion. At Tesla, internal divisions grew sharper. Some executives, frustrated by regulatory delays and competitive threats, advocated for aggressive expansion, even if it meant bending rules or sidelining ethical concerns. Elon's insistence on measured, principled progress put him at odds with these factions, forcing him to assert leadership amid fracturing trust. This tension culminated in a heated boardroom showdown, where Elon had to defend his vision against accusations of being overly cautious and idealistic. The scene was raw and revealing, exposing the personal toll of leadership at the frontier of transformative change. Elon's resolve and clarity swayed key allies but underscored the fragility of his position. Amid these battles, Elon found unexpected support from a coalition of global civic leaders, scientists, and human rights advocates. This diverse alliance championed transparency, accountability, and inclusive innovation, amplifying public pressure on policymakers to protect the invention's integrity. Elon embraced these partnerships, recognizing that the invention's future depended on broad-based stewardship beyond corporate walls. Personal stakes rose when Elon received troubling news. Attempts to hack and sabotage Tesla's neural interface infrastructure were increasing in frequency and sophistication. The risks extended beyond data theft to potential manipulation of users' emotional states, a threat that struck at the heart of the invention's ethical foundation. Tesla's cybersecurity teams worked around the clock, developing cutting-edge defenses, but Elon knew this was a battle that required constant vigilance and collaboration. The emotional burden was heavy. Elon grappled with fear, not for himself, but for the millions who trusted the technology to enhance their lives. In quiet moments, he wrestled with the paradox of creating something so powerful yet vulnerable, a reflection of humanity's own dual nature. A turning point emerged when Elon met with a group of users who had formed an independent advocacy network. These individuals shared candid stories of empowerment but also concerns about privacy, consent, and the social implications of emotional connectivity. Their voices grounded Elon, reminding him that the invention's success hinged on listening to those it served. Inspired, Elon launched initiatives to deepen user engagement in development and governance, fostering a culture of co-creation and shared responsibility. Meanwhile, scientific research uncovered a surprising neurological effect. Prolonged use of the interface's emotional resonance feature appeared to rewire neural pathways associated with empathy and social bonding. This discovery thrilled some but alarmed others, raising questions about long-term psychological impacts and the potential for unintended social consequences. Elon convened interdisciplinary teams to study these effects rigorously, emphasizing transparency and ethical oversight. The chapter's climax arrives as Elon faces a critical decision: whether to accelerate the rollout of a new generation of the interface despite unresolved questions about its neurological impact. The debate within Tesla and the broader coalition is fierce, pitting urgency against caution. Elon reflects deeply, balancing his commitment to innovation with his responsibility to protect users. Ultimately, he chooses a phased, transparent approach, prioritizing comprehensive testing, informed consent, and public engagement. This decision is met with both relief and frustration, encapsulating the complex trade-offs inherent in pioneering change. As the chapter closes, Elon stands at a crossroads once again, aware that the path forward will demand resilience, humility, and unwavering dedication to values. The invention's journey mirrors humanity's own quest to harness power wisely and compassionately. Elon Musk's story continues to unfold as a testament to the delicate dance between ambition and ethics, innovation and humanity. The future remains uncertain, but with every challenge faced, the vision of a connected, empathetic world shines brighter on the horizon. Elon Musk stood at a critical juncture as the neural interface's potential began to ripple across societies in unexpected ways. The invention was no longer just a technological marvel. It had become a mirror reflecting the best and worst of humanity, a catalyst for profound personal and collective transformation. This chapter explores the breakthroughs that expanded the invention's impact, the emotional complexity of those involved, and the evolving relationships that shaped the journey forward. After the tense decision to adopt a phased, transparent rollout, Tesla's teams doubled down on research, development, and user engagement. They launched pilot programs in diverse communities, from urban centers to remote regions, gathering invaluable data on the interface's effects in real-world contexts. These programs revealed a rich tapestry of human experiences: joy, vulnerability, connection, but also fear and resistance. Elon personally visited several pilot sites, eager to witness firsthand how the invention was changing lives. One visit to a community of veterans coping with PTSD was especially moving. The interface enabled these individuals to share emotions and memories with therapists and loved ones in ways previously unimaginable, fostering healing and understanding. Elon was struck by the raw courage and resilience of these users, their stories reinforcing his belief in the invention's potential to serve as a bridge to empathy and recovery. At the same time, Elon encountered skepticism and opposition. Some viewed the technology as invasive or unnatural, fearing it could erode privacy, autonomy, or the authenticity of human relationships. Others worried about societal inequalities, concerned that access to such transformative technology might deepen existing divides. Elon engaged these critiques openly, advocating for inclusive policies and transparent governance structures. He emphasized that the invention's future depended on building trust through dialogue and respect for diverse perspectives. The emotional landscape within Tesla was equally complex. The earlier betrayals and internal conflicts had left scars, but they also forged a more resilient and cohesive team. Elon fostered a culture of openness, encouraging staff to share their hopes and anxieties about the invention's impact. This approach nurtured empathy and collaboration, fueling innovation grounded in shared values. A pivotal breakthrough came when researchers identified a new application for the neural interface, enhancing creative collaboration. By linking emotional and cognitive states among groups, the technology enabled unprecedented synchronization of ideas and feelings, leading to collective problem-solving and artistic expression. This discovery sparked excitement across industries, from education and healthcare to the arts and sciences, heralding new possibilities for human achievement. Elon celebrated this milestone but remained mindful of the accompanying responsibilities. The invention was increasingly intertwined with identity and social dynamics, necessitating ongoing ethical reflection and adaptive governance. Personal relationships deepened as well. Elon's connection with close friends and family grew richer, marked by moments of vulnerability and mutual support that contrasted with the public pressures he faced. He found solace in simple experiences, shared meals, quiet walks, candid conversations, that reaffirmed the importance of human connection beyond technology. A memorable scene unfolds during a retreat with his inner circle, where discussions range from technical challenges to philosophical questions about consciousness and the nature of love. These moments nurture Elon's emotional intelligence and broaden his vision for the invention as a tool for deepening humanity's capacity for empathy and understanding. Yet, challenges persisted. A new wave of misinformation and fear campaigns emerged, fueled by concerns about mind control and loss of free will. Elon responded with transparency and education, launching public initiatives to demystify the technology and highlight safeguards protecting individual autonomy. This effort helped stem the tide of fear but underscored the ongoing struggle to balance innovation with societal readiness. The chapter's climax centers on a global virtual summit where Elon and diverse stakeholders, users, ethicists, policymakers, and scientists, engage in robust dialogue about the invention's future. This unprecedented gathering exemplifies the story's core themes of collaboration, trust, and the intertwining of technology and humanity. Elon's closing remarks emphasize humility, responsibility, and hope, inspiring renewed commitment to shaping a future where technology enhances, not replaces, the human spirit. As the chapter closes, Elon reflects on the journey thus far. The invention had become more than a product, it was a living experiment in what it means to be human in an age of rapid change. Elon's own evolution, from visionary entrepreneur to thoughtful leader, mirrored the invention's path toward maturity. The horizon beckoned with challenges and opportunities, but with each step forward, the promise of a more connected, compassionate world grew clearer. Elon Musk's story continued to unfold as a beacon of innovation tempered by empathy, a reminder that the greatest inventions serve not only the mind but the heart. Elon Musk's invention had woven itself into the fabric of everyday life, altering the way people thought, felt, and connected. Yet, as its reach expanded, so did the complexity of the challenges it presented. This chapter delves into the rising tension as unforeseen consequences surfaced, emotional stakes heightened, and Elon faced pivotal moments that would define not just his invention's future, but his own legacy. Despite the widespread enthusiasm for the neural interface, a growing chorus of critics warned about the long-term societal implications. Concerned groups voiced fears that the technology might be used to manipulate emotions on a massive scale, influence elections, or exacerbate mental health issues. The media spotlight intensified, with headlines oscillating between awe at the invention's breakthroughs and alarm over its potential dangers. Elon, ever the pragmatist, refused to shy away from these debates. He openly addressed the concerns in interviews and public forums, emphasizing the importance of transparency, regulation, and continuous monitoring. His candidness earned respect but also attracted scrutiny from watchdog groups demanding stricter oversight. Inside Tesla, the pressure mounted. The cybersecurity teams worked tirelessly to fend off increasingly sophisticated attacks aiming to exploit vulnerabilities in the emotional resonance feature. A particularly alarming incident involved a coordinated hack attempt that briefly disrupted communication in a major city's public neural network, sowing confusion and fear. Elon responded swiftly, reinforcing security protocols and engaging with government agencies to enhance protections. The episode underscored the fragility of the system and the stakes involved in safeguarding users. On a personal level, Elon felt the weight of these crises profoundly. Late nights spent poring over technical reports gave way to moments of exhaustion and doubt. He grappled with the question of whether the benefits outweighed the risks and what responsibility he bore as the architect of such a powerful tool. Friends and family offered support, reminding him of the lives transformed for the better, yet Elon knew the journey was far from over. Meanwhile, the invention's social impact grew more nuanced. Stories emerged of users experiencing not only healing and connection but also dependency and emotional confusion. Some struggled to navigate the blurred lines between their own feelings and those shared through the interface, leading to challenges in personal relationships. Mental health professionals began developing new therapies and guidelines tailored to this novel experience, illustrating the evolving interplay between technology and human psychology. Elon convened a task force of experts to study these phenomena, reinforcing his commitment to responsible stewardship. Unexpectedly, a breakthrough came from an unlikely source, a group of independent artists and activists who used the interface to create immersive experiences blending emotion, narrative, and social commentary. Their work demonstrated the invention's capacity to inspire empathy and foster dialogue on issues from climate change to social justice. Elon embraced this creative energy, seeing it as a vital expression of the invention's potential to deepen human understanding. However, not all reactions were positive. A faction of technophobes and radical activists staged protests and digital campaigns aimed at halting the invention's expansion. Their arguments, while sometimes extreme, highlighted genuine anxieties about control, consent, and the pace of technological change. Elon engaged with these critics as well, participating in moderated debates and community forums, underscoring his belief that the invention's future depended on inclusive conversation and respect for dissenting voices. The chapter's emotional climax arrives during a private moment when Elon visits a family whose daughter had regained speech through the interface after years of silence. Witnessing their joy and gratitude rekindled Elon's sense of purpose, reminding him why he had embarked on this journey despite its hardships. This scene contrasts with the public turmoil and personal doubts, illustrating the profound human impact at the invention's heart. Elon contemplates the paradox of innovation, its power to heal and harm, unite and divide, illuminate and complicate. He resolves to continue navigating this delicate balance with integrity and empathy, aware that the path ahead demands courage, wisdom, and the willingness to learn. The story's pulse quickens, signaling that the next chapter will bring transformative moments and new horizons. Elon Musk's saga remains a testament to the enduring quest to harness technology in service of humanity's deepest hopes and fears. The moment had come when Elon Musk faced the ultimate test of his invention and his leadership. After years of breakthroughs, setbacks, and tireless dedication, the neural interface stood poised on the brink of global transformation. Yet, as the world watched, unexpected forces threatened to unravel the delicate balance Elon had fought so hard to create. This chapter delves into the climax of the story. The final hurdles, emotional trials, and moments of profound revelation that would define the future of the invention and the man behind it. Public anticipation had reached fever pitch as Tesla prepared for the global launch of the next-generation neural interface, a model promising unprecedented emotional fidelity and user autonomy. Elon's keynote address was broadcast worldwide, drawing millions eager to glimpse the future. His speech was a masterful blend of vision, humility, and urgency, reaffirming the invention's potential to heal, connect, and inspire while acknowledging the responsibilities it entailed. However, beneath the surface, the stakes were higher than ever. Whispers of sabotage and espionage had become a disturbing reality. Elon's teams uncovered evidence that rival corporations and hostile actors had infiltrated parts of Tesla's supply chain, aiming to compromise hardware integrity and steal proprietary technology. These revelations triggered an internal crisis, forcing Elon to make rapid decisions balancing transparency, security, and competitive strategy. The emotional toll was immense. Elon grappled with feelings of betrayal and isolation, compounded by the relentless public spotlight. Yet, in moments of solitude, he drew strength from memories of those he had helped, individuals whose lives had been touched by the invention's promise. One such memory was of Maya, a young woman who had used the interface to reconnect with her estranged father after years of silence. Their reunion, filled with tears and shared emotions, epitomized the human heart of Elon's vision. As the launch date approached, unforeseen technical complications emerged. A rare but critical flaw in the emotional modulation system threatened to cause severe emotional distress in a small subset of users. Elon faced a painful choice: delay the launch to address the issue fully or proceed with stringent warnings and phased deployment. His decision to prioritize safety, though met with frustration from some investors and partners, underscored his commitment to ethical responsibility. The launch itself was a dramatic event, marked by both celebration and tension. Early adopters reported transformative experiences, describing moments of profound empathy and connection that transcended language and cultural barriers. Simultaneously, rigorous monitoring detected and mitigated the rare adverse reactions, validating the cautious approach. In the wake of the launch, Elon engaged in a series of candid conversations with global leaders, ethicists, and community representatives. These dialogues shaped emerging policies and frameworks governing the technology's use, reflecting the invention's status as a shared human endeavor rather than a mere commercial product. Elon's personal journey culminated in a poignant moment during a private gathering with his closest allies. He shared reflections on the sacrifices, doubts, and hopes that had defined his path, acknowledging the complexity of balancing ambition with humility. This scene humanized the visionary, revealing the vulnerabilities behind the public persona. The chapter's emotional climax centers on Elon receiving a letter from a user who credited the invention with saving their life, helping them overcome despair and isolation. This message reignited Elon's passion and resolve, reminding him of the invention's profound capacity to change the world. As the chapter closes, Elon stands at the threshold of a new era, aware that the journey is far from over but confident that the invention's legacy will endure. The narrative tension resolves into a powerful affirmation of hope, resilience, and the enduring human spirit. Elon Musk's story, filled with challenges and triumphs, serves as a beacon for the future, a testament to the transformative power of innovation grounded in empathy and responsibility. The world had changed. In the months following the global launch of the neural interface, societies around the world began adapting to a new paradigm, one where the lines between emotion, connection, and technology had permanently shifted. As the dust settled and people settled into this new rhythm of shared understanding and heightened empathy, Elon Musk found himself no longer just a CEO or inventor, but a symbol of what it meant to create something that touched not only minds, but hearts. This chapter brings the journey to a powerful close, blending final reflections, reconciliations, and a vision for what comes next. Elon stood at the window of his home, overlooking the Pacific horizon. He hadn't slept much, not because of work this time, but because he couldn't stop thinking. The invention had done more than he ever imagined, not in terms of metrics or adoption rates, but in what it revealed about people. Stories poured in daily. Children who could finally express their emotions to parents. Couples on the brink of separation reconnecting on a level words had never allowed. Elderly patients in care homes who, once isolated and withdrawn, were now sharing stories with a clarity they hadn't experienced in decades. It was working, not perfectly, not universally, but in the way all meaningful change does, one person at a time. And yet, Elon knew there was unfinished business. There were still skeptics, still ethical dilemmas, still unknowns lurking around the edges of the invention's growing presence. He'd spent his entire career pushing the boundaries of what was possible, from electric cars to space travel, from AI to renewable energy, but this was something else. It had opened a door that could never be closed again. A meeting with global regulatory leaders had been scheduled in Geneva. Elon wasn't attending to negotiate or pitch. He was going to listen. He believed the only way the technology could thrive without harming the very fabric of society was if it belonged to the world, not a corporation, not a government, not even to him. Before boarding the plane, he stopped at a small clinic in San Francisco. There, he quietly visited one of the earliest pilot users. A teenager named Aiden, who had suffered a brain injury in childhood. The neural interface had not only restored Aiden's ability to communicate but had unlocked an emotional world he had never been able to share before. When Elon entered the room, Aiden looked at him and smiled. "I feel real now," he said softly, and Elon felt his chest tighten. No metric, no stock price, no press release had ever hit him as hard as those words. In Geneva, the tone was skeptical but respectful. Elon addressed the panel not as a tech mogul, but as a citizen. He presented a plan to decentralize governance of the neural interface, creating a global ethics council made up of scientists, mental health professionals, privacy advocates, and even former critics. The invention would be guided not by profit, but by principle. The move shocked the industry, but it resonated with people. Trust, as Elon had learned the hard way, couldn't be bought or coded, it had to be earned. Back in the US, the transition began. Tesla Neural, as it was now officially branded, opened its source code for the emotional resonance engine to a coalition of public watchdogs and universities. Elon's inner circle, some of whom had doubted his more idealistic instincts, now stood firmly behind him, watching as the vision evolved from revolutionary product to responsible public infrastructure. One night, during a quiet dinner at home, Elon shared a moment with his teenage son. They talked not about work or fame, but about fear, what it means to be misunderstood, to feel pressure, to fail. The conversation wasn't extraordinary in content, but in tone. It was raw, open, and, for Elon, more deeply connected than anything he remembered from his own childhood. "I wish I'd had this when I was younger," his son said. Elon looked at him and nodded. "Me too." That moment echoed in his mind for days. It reminded him that technology's greatest gift wasn't the data or the speed. It was the door it opened to vulnerability. Real connection. And in a world speeding toward automation, the very thing that might keep us human. The final weeks of the year saw new global standards established for neural interfaces. Mental health support systems were integrated into every device, and emotional literacy became a subject in schools. The world hadn't turned utopian, but it was paying attention to the right things. Empathy, understanding, transparency. Elon spent more time off stage than on. He knew the invention would outlive him. That was the goal all along, to build something that would carry forward without needing him to steer it. Legacy was never about the name etched on the product. It was about whether the product made the world better. In one of his last public appearances that year, Elon stood before a packed auditorium of students. No screens, no devices, just words. What if, he asked, we stopped using technology to escape each other, and started using it to truly understand one another? The room fell silent. We have enough tools to change the world. But the real question is, can we change ourselves? He paused, scanning the crowd. Because that's where the future lives. Not in code. Not in circuits. But in the choice each of us makes, to connect, to care, and to be brave enough to feel. That speech was shared millions of times. Not because of the tech behind it, but because it said what so many people had felt and couldn't quite express. In a quiet moment, after the cameras had turned off and the crowd had dispersed, Elon walked through the hall alone. For the first time in a long while, he felt something he hadn't let himself feel, peace. The invention was no longer his. It was everyone's. And with that truth came both freedom and purpose. As he stepped outside into the evening air, he looked up at the stars, those same stars he'd once vowed to reach. But this time, he wasn't thinking about rockets or Mars. He was thinking about Earth, about us, about the unspoken threads that connect every human heart. Life, he realized, isn't about how far you can go. It's about how deeply you can feel. How bravely you can love. And how much of yourself you're willing to give for something greater than yourself. As the final chapter of this story closes, one message remains: the future isn't something we wait for. It's something we build, together. And in the hands of those who choose empathy over ego, courage over comfort, and connection over control, the future is brighter than we ever imagined. Hit subscribe and leave a comment with where you're watching from. This story might just spark a new beginning. What's one thing that always pushes you forward, even when things get tough?